good to be here today. It's good to be with you all. Um, our past, our pasts are a great indication of where we've been, but not always the best indication of where we're headed. Today, I get a chance to talk to Holly, who's I've known since one of my first businesses, and back in the days where I was an actuary and I was an actuarial. How do I want to say this here? Because I love to give. I didn't get the credentials, so I love to give the space of that. Like I was an actuarial candidate. Let's say that. All right, I made it through 8 years of taking exams. Went through. And then realized that actually what was really for me was being an entrepreneur and then eventually being a coach. And today I'm joined here by Holly, and it's making me think around the bravery that's involved with stepping out of what you've built in one area and finding the elements that continue to translate as you build something new for yourself, build something more aligned, build something that's more fulfilling, and step more into your genius. So I am really, really thrilled to be with a genius here, Holly. And that's what I see when I see you. So it's really, really, I'm glad we're going to have this opportunity to be in service and in connection with each other. Mm-hmm. So Holly, so for today, I am really focused on playing the next level game. It's been something that's been coming up a lot for me. And when I look at it, I have a distinction between next level and next step. Next step is typically like, okay, I know where I'm heading. I know what the incremental steps are. Nothing fundamentally changes about life, but things get incrementally better. That's not the game I like to play. Like, I feel like that's just, there's a lot of different people out there who are happy to play that game. But what really excites me is to actually play the next level game, where we're looking at it and saying, okay, what does it look like for you to play in a place that's in complete alignment with you? What does it look like for you to play in a place where when you're reaching a level that's beyond traditional success and go into exponential, unique, and like aligned success? So it's not to say that we're not going to take next steps, not to say that we're not going to come and say, like, here goes the individual next things to do. But we're going to first make sure that you're aligned, that you're oriented in the place toward what you truly want. I like to say I'm like a genie. I can get anyone exactly what they want. The thing that comes up is what did they show up with, right? So allow me to be the genie to your Aladdin here, right? And in order to do that, there's 6 agreements that I like to enter into whenever I'm playing the next level game. All right, I'm going to go through each of them individually, and you let me know if you're good with each of them. All right. Oh. The first one is that I'm going to hide nothing and hold nothing back. Are you good with that in this conversation?
Yep.
All right. The second is that I am here to serve you and not please you. Are you good with that in this conversation? Yeah. All right, cool. And if you hear any noises or anything in the background, it's morning time here. So my wife is getting ready. So I'll just call that out for what it is. I want her to have the space to go have a great day. And for me, I'm fully here with you. All right. The third thing is that I have a track record of having life-changing conversations, and you've experienced it. And at this point in my life, I refuse to have anything less than that. It doesn't mean that in this conversation, your life needs to be like, wow, this is amazing. Like, it might be that like years from now, you reflect on something that came from this conversation and you change how you approach from that. I'm open to all of that. So are you open to this being a life-changing conversation?
Yes, I am.
All right. The fourth thing is that I am coming to this conversation bringing all of who I am, right? I am a coach. I'm a consultant. I am a husband. I'm a man. I am a brother. I am scared. I am like angry. I have all these things, the good, the bad, the ugly. I want to bring all that to the table. I'm not going to hold back and only let you get the small sliver that is my quote unquote best. I'm bringing everything here.
Okay.
What that looks like, what the important part about that here is that what I'm not coming in as is an expert, a guru, or a mentor for your life or your business, right? Only you have the answers there. I don't have your answers, but I will help you live into different questions that can help you get new answers for yourself or extract the answers from within you. All right. So you comfortable with me bringing all of me to help you get your own answers?
Yes.
Okay. The fifth thing is that I'm going to lead this conversation, but you're in control. So I'll ask what questions are interesting to me, wherever things just happen to go. I show up with my full presence, my full being is how I like to look at it. It's like, I don't know why, but intuitively I pick up on different things, and I like to go in places that are curious for me. And you can decide how you want to play with that. You can choose to answer it. You can choose to say, like, actually, Nemo, I'm like to go in this other direction. I love it when people pick me from one place and they're like, actually, this is where we need to go and focus the rest of the conversation on. Let me know about any assumptions that I'm making,
Okay.
and just let me let's have that that as part of our conversation. Are you good with that for today?
Yes.
All right, cool. And then the sixth thing is really fun. I don't want to spend our time here going from like somewhere in the middle, level 5, and then eventually getting to level 7, but never actually getting you anything that you really need. I want to start our conversations at like level 9, level 10, like taking us to that place where you're already on your edge and we're exploring what lies beyond that, because that's where your next level is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So to do that here, one of the things I like to have is what I call a brag zone. And in the brag zone, you can never get too big. It's totally cool. You don't have to worry about coming off messy. You can't get messy in here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll rephrase that. You can never be too messy. You can be messy. It just doesn't phase. I love how I was messy in explaining that one. You don't have to worry about coming off arrogant. You don't have to worry about coming off cocky. You don't have to worry about being humble. Like for me, I actually get bigger when people are bigger. So bring your biggest dreams, bring your biggest fears, bring all of you to the table, and bring your biggest accomplishments, and let's build on that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sixth thing. I find that sometimes it's the hardest for people. So the way I'll say this is: are you comfortable being uncomfortable within the brag zone?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. All right, we'll play with it. Is there anything else that you need to be both safe and brave in this conversation?
Nothing I can think of. Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, Holly. So there's a question that's coming to mind right now, and this really is around orienting ourselves toward you playing at your next level. All right. The question that comes to mind here is, what scares you the most right now?
I know that answer, and it's me being very vulnerable. But what scares me the most in general, or just, yeah.
In this current moment, when it comes to playing at your next level, like not even like just in this current moment right now, what scares you the most?
Not, not even, well, yeah, not, or things not working out with my current, significant other, my current boyfriend. Yeah, that's what scares me the most right now. And even further that, like, not getting engaged on my like timeline, which sounds so stupid, but it's the truth.
It's real. It's real. I'm finding out now, my wife and I, we are having far more conversations, and I'm realizing just how much like timelines, like how much of a luxury I have to not have to think in terms of timelines, So like it to me, it doesn't sound stupid. I don't need to know like why, but like, it's like, it on some level makes sense here. So tell me, what else scares you right now? What are you afraid of?
I think Yeah, because it's like that has like a, I don't know, kind of like a snowball effect into things, conversations or like, career moves that I would make, and just like, I don't know, just for my whole time, like what I want, my career to look like, which is dependent on what my, family would look like. And yeah, I feel like it just like affects, obviously my finances and just everything. Um, yeah, just like everything. And I don't know if it has to, but it is affecting it right now.
Great. So let's call that in. Let's play a little bit here. I find myself really curious as to, and this is me just trying to understand here. Tell me a little bit more about how what your family looks like impacts some of these other areas. We can start off with the career, but like, tell me how the two of them are connected for you.
Well, they're connected. I feel like they're vastly connected for me, and I feel like it's more connected with women too in general than men, because they're trying to think of, career moves that work around things like, maternity leave or staying home with kids and stuff like that. So I don't know, just being completely honest, like I thought I'd be done having it by now. And I'm sitting here, obviously not single, but not married. And it's just like, really, it just is, I take it like personally. But anyway, so that, like, so yeah, like, having my immediate family would affect career in terms of, wanting to move towards being a yoga instructor and a holistic health coach, or just a life coach in general. Wanting to move into that, it would be dependent on a separate, a dual income, or like another breadwinner, and not me being, I'm my own breadwinner right now. And I live alone in an apartment that I pay $1,600 for just rent a month, and it's like, so, I gotta pay those bills, and I gotta, pay for everything. So I don't feel comfortable making a career change right now to being a health coach. I couldn't sustain. I don't know where I would live, things like that. So that obviously has a huge effect on everything. I don't know if you want me to keep going, but yeah.
Yeah, like please do. I'm okay with like hearing like these are really real concerns, right? These are the things that are working on you right now. It's like I can hear the tension that's out here, and so let's give it space for it to exist in the world.
Yeah. So, obviously, like when I started seeing Luke about 2 years ago, we started right away just having like long conversations. Because I was so at Mercer, I was still taking Sam C like 7 freaking times, and he was like, "Why are you doing this?" Like, and that's where I never really thought about it. Like, I just was like not intentional about that part of my life. And he was like, my mom stayed home, and I think that's what I would want, my wife to do, one day. And I was like, well, wait a second, my mom stayed home too. Why did I never think that this was going to be like in the stars for me? I just never thought about it. And like, as soon as we decided, before we started dating, we wanted to make sure, we only would not see date to marry. We both had that value. So we like had to hash out like everything right away. And that was been always like one of our, plans in the future. And so it's like that, was huge. And we've just had lots of discussions about it. I think we just maybe not since, well, we do talk about it all the time. And then just kind of continued conversations about like what that would look like. Would I stop working altogether? Would I do yoga? So a whole, 10,000 a year or whatever they would pay. So, it looks like, that's a great idea, blah, blah, blah. And I think like my assumption of things going well was, us, being obviously, like married by now, and I would think through, or I would be closer. It would feel like I could, start planning all this stuff. But now the longer it goes, the more I'm like, well, I'm like, I got to the point where now I'm like, I was going to transition from an actuary to like a yoga instructor slash health coach. And I'm like, I'm ready to quit right now. But we're not even married, much less having kids right now. Because the plan was me to quit. We have kids. I'm like, not like I thought we'd be having kids right now, but at least like we knew when we would, because we'd be farther along. So it's kind of like I don't feel comfortable planning obviously all that until we like tie the knot. But so yeah, it's just kind of been this super, it's like a black box now where I don't want to let myself think about that yet, because it's so volatile. It seems like it could be, you know? And so anyway, I'm to the point where I'm like, I can't do this one more day. And I'm obviously not ready to quit right now because I got bills to pay. So I chose the decision of, okay, I don't know what to do, but I'm just going to start applying for non-actuarial corporate gigs still, you know? And Luke's like, yeah, it's a good idea. Or like the other day, I was like, my lease expires and rent went up like $200. What should I do? And I'm like, oh, this is what's happening. What should I do? And he's like, well, I guess you better like sign another year lease. I'm like, dang, okay, I'm gonna do that. And I don't know, it's just hard. I just can't I feel like I can't plan.
So Holly, I'm gonna come in here. I can feel it. I wanted to let some of that have space here. Can you do me a favor real quick?
Yeah.
Can me and you both just breathe it in, taking all that, like all of how hard it is, all of like the uncertainty, the volatility. Let's just breathe that in. And then let's also just release it. Release that for this conversation. And let's do one more deep breath on this one. Here, one more. Bring it in. And then release it. Yeah. Like as I'm hearing you here, like there's some very real practical concerns right now that are taking place. And I'm hearing that you, at least the sense that I get is that you are able to feel more confidence, more ability to take action. You're in the flow and you make things happen when you have a plan and things are moving according to that plan. And what it feels like right now is that like the plan is the plan that you had is out of whack. The plan that you had is like, it's like, hold on, wait a minute. These are not lining up to my milestones. This is not like, I'm not seeing it here. And it feels like there's like a tension between whether you should even try planning anything else at all, because the plan is so far out of like, or if you should continue to make kind of like incremental moves for now to kind of give the plan a chance to catch up or whatever it is right there. Am I getting that right there around where you are?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the way I'm going to play this very differently than I thought when I was listening here. And I think that in this moment here, what I'm going to try and do here is just go a different route. And the reason I'm choosing to go a different route is that I could tell from what you were saying, like you've thought a lot about this. You and your boyfriend, you've had conversations, you've done so much work, and I want to acknowledge you for that. Like, hey, you're not just like showing, like coming in here and just having this, like all just being fresh. But what it also feels like to me is that you've kind of traversed a lot of similar paths. You're like we can start on one thought process and it will lead you right back to the same place, and we can go somewhere else and it will lead you right back to the same place, right? So I want to spend some time acknowledging just how real all of that is. And we're going to let it go for now, right? We're going to let it go for now because we know what that path leads, like where that leads it to. It leads you to a place of like, I'm not necessarily sure, you know? So let's use this time, because it's a unique time that we have together. Let's use this time to play without the thing that I really want to do is if you're willing to step out of your comfort zone, to play without a plan. All right. And to see to see what it would look like if you didn't have a plan, if going forward, like things didn't work out according to plan in any way, shape, or form. However, you were able to look back on your last day on this planet, be able to look back and say, I lived a life that I'm really proud of, without regrets, and I feel very fulfilled, right? So we're letting go of the plan part, right? what would you be doing if you knew that at the end of the day it all worked out?
It all worked out.
No matter what you chose,
Yeah.
it was exactly right. What would you be doing?
I would just quit my job. Yeah, I would start doing health coaching. But yeah, I'd probably do that.
So let's talk a little bit about that because just given the actuarial background I have and that we both share here, you'd said one word that was really fun for me. You said assumptions. I had assumptions of things going a certain way. I had assumptions around this, and I think about this with actuarial models and everything like that. Like it's like so much is embedded within the assumptions, right? So much is embedded within there, right? So it feels to me like you have a set of assumptions that are related to health coaching currently, or yoga, like being a yoga teacher and yoga instructor. What are some of the assumptions that you're making currently when it comes to that?
Some of the assumptions. I don't know. I feel like I would regret it. It's like, I mean, it could go either way. I could make more money or I could make way less. I think the probability is I'd make quite a bit less. I think that's like, I've seen it.
So is that an
But,
assumption? Assumption one, I am going,
yeah.
let's play the game this way. As a, we'll call it health coach, but like, we'll just know that it could be yoga instructor, life coach, all that, right? But let's call it health coaches for now. I'd love for you to play a game with me. And the game is like a sentence stem. So it would be one assumption. We would do this. You would say 5 things. You need to repeat this sentence, and you'll end it with a different ending each time. So it'll look like one assumption I have about being a health coach is, and then you'll say something. Then you'll say one assumption I have about being a health coach is, and then something else, right? And you'll say the full sentence. One assumption I have, as opposed to just listing it out one, right? And you do that like let's go with 5 times right now. Let's go with 10, and then if we get good, we'll be good with it. So one assumption I have as a health coach is
that it would make less money than I do now.
Go ahead and repeat the full sentence, and you just let your mind just flow.
Okay, yeah. One assumption that I have for health coaching is that it would make less money than I currently make.
Give me another
That's the only one that I can. It's the only one that I really think I kind of.
Okay.
I don't
All
know.
right. Cool.
Yeah.
So the first question I have right here is, what if that wasn't true? Do you know other health coaches that? Yeah. Let me ask that question. What if that wasn't true? What if that assumption just wasn't true?
If it wasn't true, then I would be happy. I don't know. I'd be even happier than I would be. Probably happier than I would be doing it, if it made less. And yeah.
Okay. All right. So it feels like here, like that seems to be a really key assumption right now. And also just kind of based on what you were saying earlier, it feels like, and I use the word assumption very, very deliberately because it's like the model seems to be based on the assumption. You're like, well, I'm going to make less in this. I assume I'm going to make less. And as such, we need to have dual income. I need to have all these things like organized and all that, those other things. Right? So let's change that assumption for the rest of this conversation. Right? For the rest of this conversation, we're going to come from the assumption of like, you're going to make more money as a result of this than you were as an actuary. And it might feel like no, that's not a base. That assumption has no basis in it. But we know what the world looks like when you assume the opposite, right? And I like to stretch beyond. You'll make this just the same, right? So, in the time that we have here, I'd love to just play a little bit with just like, I like to mess with your thinking and just play from the standpoint of like, if you were going to do this, and you are actually going to make more money through health coaching, yoga instructor, and being a life coach than you did as an actuary, right? How would you approach it so that that would be the case?
I would start it right now. You know, I wouldn't try to find an intermediate gig. Yeah. If I knew that I could, yeah, obviously pay the bills, then I would do it. Yeah.
Okay. So let's stay on this line here. Um, if you're going to make more money as a health coach than you did as an actuary, right? What would need to change to allow that to become possible?
So I would need to quit my job,
Mhm.
and honestly, I have the certifications for both of them. Um, but yeah, I think I need to quit my job, and I wouldn't need to, yeah, worry about the money, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So there's two things that I'm hearing, and the two things I'm hearing, I'm not sure if one is a new assumption or if we're still in the same assumption and it just looks a little bit different. So the assumption that I feel like I keep hearing is like I need to quit my job, and that might be like a personal thing, but like you brought it up here as like step one, I need to quit my job, and actually in the last two questions, like that's where it went there. So you might just like it might just be like that time, right? But whether or not that is tied to your success in any way, shape, or form, I'm not necessarily sure because if it's coming up as it keeps coming up as a thing. So I'm gonna explore this because it's just different than where I feel like your mind might go normally. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so what if you didn't need to quit your job? It's not a place that like I can even feel myself. I'm like, oh, I don't want to go here, so I'm going to go here. But what if you didn't need to quit your job, and you're able to start making good money through health coaching? What would that look like?
I don't know if that. So yeah, because right now all my time outside of my job is like used up. So that's why it's like in order to create space to do it, um, even if I quit my job to create like a health manual, and then I still need to like have that whatever 40 hours a week that I work to do to write something, and then it could make that. Otherwise, like coaching is more active, so it's like I'm like usually busy after the hours of 4 p.m. And before 8. So that's why I like think my assumption is, or not even assumption, but like that's why I think I would definitely like have to in order to find more or just to have time to do it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what I feel like I'm hearing here is like having the time and perhaps even having the energy to go and actually invest in this business here, invest in a different way of doing
Mm-hmm.
things, right? And
Mm-hmm.
like it feels like you need to be able to create the space. And the assumption right now is if I quit my job, I'll have space,
Right. Yeah.
right? And so
Yeah.
like so the place that I think would be really fun to play is around that space area. Like I feel like at its core, if you had space right now for you to start building the health coaching business and things like that, would you feel a little bit more secure?
Um, than just quitting without the build up. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I definitely feel more secure with more prep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's play a little bit in the realm of like creating space for you, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a couple different things that come to mind. There's two places. One is, and I'm playing along with this word assumptions for a bit. Um, it feels like there might be an assumption that like because you don't have time, that's going to make your work less valuable, or like you're going to be paid less for it because you don't have the time to do it. And the assumption is you need a whole lot of time in order to really build something like what you're looking.
Mm-hmm.
And so since I'm here playing with assumptions today, that's just the way I've chosen to play this game today. Um, what if what if you're actually like the lack of time was actually a plus? I know people who are making transitions from being, we'll talk, from whatever their profession is, and there are a lot of people who are in professions, like actuaries as well. It's not just like
Mm-hmm.
a job, but like they've invested years and they have a track record in this profession, who are transitioning to be a coach, and they have a family and they have all these other things going on. They have all these other obligations and other things like that, and they're like, "Well, I just don't have the time." And one of the ways that they end up really building a successful practice is that they use that to their advantage. They use the scarcity of time to help them grow even more. And to, when there is, and I'm usually someone that's huge into abundance, and I realize that there's actually service in having scarcity, from the standpoint of, since you don't have a lot of time, you can't take on a lot of clients. And since you can't take on a lot of clients, you won't be able to charge like the same things that most people charge, But that one
Mm-hmm.
client of yours, the two clients that you take on, like they're all like, you're putting all of your extra bandwidth and time into them. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's an element there that actually allows you to, that makes you the resource even more valuable as a result. And I could see, I don't know how long you would need to do this, but I could see you going up to people and saying, you know what, right now I have a full-time job in the profession right now. There's transitions going on after 4 p.m. Most days it's completely full, but I do have one time each week on Saturday afternoons that I leave for like one person who is truly dedicated to like making a transformation when it comes to their health. This is not for any individual person that's out there, because to be honest, like, because my time is so limited, I am only able to offer this to one person a month, one person every other week, like it's just, I don't
Mm-hmm.
like it really is a sacred space there. And this is something that I love to meet with them. I love to just work with them right now from a complementary perspective for them to see if there is actually a match. But working with me is not easy. Working with me, it's an investment of time, it's an investment of energy, it's an investment of money, because I only take on 5 clients at a time. That's all my schedule can handle right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check
Yeah.
in with you there. Like, if you're able to come from that place, from actually, and this is gonna sound weird, but like the limited part of you, and to have your limitations be the thing that allows you to accelerate and get more money than you would have gotten had you had all the time in the world, all the space in the world, to
Right.
just take on clients at like, 20, 30, $50 an hour. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
actually, I don't have that kind of time. So if you're like, let me check in. Let me slow down myself here. I'd be curious what comes to mind for you when I say that. Let's just share a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like how that, or yeah, like what I've tried and what else I should try. Like I, yeah, like I tried having well, first I tried having two check-ins, or no, two people checking in once every 2 weeks, and I just couldn't keep up with this. Then I got down to one, and now it's been like once every 6 months I check in, and it's like nothing. And luckily they don't pay me, because I feel like I don't know how much to decide, how much to charge. So far, anything won't pay, but if I say it's free, they will. So, and I know how that goes, because I'm like that too. Like I'm like, oh, I don't have money for this, but oh, it's free, I'll do it. Um, but so yeah, it's like I can't find like people to charge any amount of money to right now, or the past year. And then on top of that, the free people are even like, it's just like falling apart with my schedule, and just I don't know, it's just been really like difficult. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I said I'm going to hide nothing and hold nothing back. And there's something that feels really edgy for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
You mind if I say it?
Yeah.
Okay. You do mind, so I won't say it then. Or
Or
is
I
it
don't mind.
okay? I have to learn how to ask that question a little bit differently, so it's more clear for me. I'm like, do you mind? I'm like, wait, that's not. it's not never clear. I don't know if you really want the health coach, yoga coach, life coach thing as much as you say that you do.
I don't know if I do either, like, to be honest. Like, and I don't know what I want then, but yeah, because it's like the flexibility of working from home, of not having to be face to face with people. Like, I don't know. It's like really appealing about, yeah, just like my job right now. And I'm like, wow, I'll have to show up, and I can't just check my phone every 5 minutes if I wanted, like I can, when I work on my computer. So yeah, I don't know. That's where like I second guess myself too, and it's okay if I don't. I tell myself it's okay. I think, yeah, it's just like I don't know what I do want then.
Yeah. Yeah. And let me ask you, Dad, what were you going to say?
I was just gonna say hasn't flown the way I thought it would flow. Like I thought it would be more successful with the people, and the one has had success. But yeah, it's just been like the thought of doing it entrepreneur style, like it's never, I don't know if that's my thing to try to like, I don't even have social media accounts, but try to like, who am I going to market to? But like telling my friends and family, none of that works. Like word of mouth, yeah, still no. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I don't want to do entrepreneur. I think I've kind of almost ruled it out. And then there's a clinic that wants to hire me, but their starting salary is like $22,000. And it's like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. No, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. with a 2-hour break in the middle. So it's like 8-hour day, but you don't get home until 6 p.m. And I'm like, wow, that kind of sucks. I get home at like 4, I don't know. So it's just like, if I get my work done, I'll get home at like 3 on Friday. So it's like, working long days, to make, $11, $10 an hour or whatever. So I don't know, that doesn't sound appealing either. And that's where I'm like, shoot, this is why I need a place where someone else can be making money. It's like, okay, I want to quit after a month until I, figure it out. And then it's like, at least I know. I want to try it right now, but I can't exactly do that, or I am, but it's not working. I love that I haven't quit my job, but it's like, I want to try it with the freedom to like with the financial freedom, and I like, and it's not like I need marriage to get that. Maybe in 10 years I'll be financially free and I can do that, or more like 20 years, and I actually won't need to work again because I've been saving a lot of money. Like until then, it's just like there's not really a ton of options,
Well, I don't know. I hear what you're saying. I don't necessarily know if that's the case. Some things I have to ask a couple of quick things here, and we're going to be wrapping up soon. But I want to before we do that, there's a few things. I'm going to probably ask questions in a more rapid fire way than listening in as much. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Cool. 1, are you taking actuarial exams right now?
No. Well, yes. Yeah.
No. Yes. Okay. No. And yes. Okay. I understand.
I just found out I failed the IA like on Monday. So
that's rough. That's rough. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. That's okay. It's a sign that I'm supposed to, do something different. Yeah.
Okay. And I asked that question because you said you get home at 4:00 right now, right? Mm-hmm. And between and just generally speaking, like what time? When's lights out for you? Like when are you like I'm asleep?
So I like a weird sort of living disorder. I go to bed at like 8:30, and I sleep till like 8. It's terrible. Like, it's not terrible. They're like, that's just kind of like I don't know. It's just how you operate. But so yeah, it's like that. I don't know. So that's my schedule. So that's kind of like I go to yoga and make food, and then I don't even have time to clean, and then I'm like dead to the world. Yeah.
So it's like you're getting what it sounds like 12 hours of sleep a night.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? So yeah, because like the things that I wanted to kind of check in here is like it's like where's your time going? Like you get out at 4, which is actually a little earlier than I think like the median of people who get out.
I guess
And I'm
it's
not
not. It's been around, it's been closer to 5 or 6, but it can be 4 versus like
okay.
coaching. It's the clinic is open until 6. So I'm like, wow. Yeah. So yeah.
Totally cool. There's elements in here that I'm just like what I'm really trying to tease out really quickly is like this is what makes me say like I don't know if you really want it, right? Where because I'm like there's and it's not a bad thing. I think the thing for me would be like it's like what's the like spending time figuring out like what's the thing that would make you like say like actually I would love like I don't have enough time in the day for this because it fills me up. It fuels me. Like I will carve out time. When I was doing when you saw me with Actuarial Journey, like my nights and weekends were just like only this, you know? Like I had to figure
Mm-hmm.
out a new way of doing this with my wife. There was like I was so passionate about it, you know, that like
Yeah.
that the work that I would create the time for that first and foremost. Like and then the rest of my excuse me, the rest of my calendar fit around that, right? It's not to say
Mm-hmm.
and to be honest, in terms of the quote unquote hustle, most people would have looked at what I did and like they would have been like, that's like a 4 hustle. Like you're not even like really hustling, you know? So I'm not trying to say like to get into like a hustle vibe of like you need to work hard, work hard, work hard. That's not it. What feels a little bit for me is like it doesn't feel like you have that like that this is something that's so monumental to you that you're like, yeah, like I really want to get out there in the world and do this. And um, I think what's coming is for me is I feel like it would be meaningful for us to spend some time, not right now, but like for you to spend some time to just kind of like playing a little bit around, like if you weren't doing that, what else? And if you are doing
Right.
health coaching or yoga coaching, then why? Like you might end up being someone that like chooses something that's really really specific within there, you know, and say like
Mm-hmm.
this is I'm not just a health coach. Like actually I have very limited time and the people that I work with have like this specific issue or something like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
if that's what like and I'm not saying do this as a marketing ploy because I was hearing that a little bit in your thing. You're like, I don't even have social media profiles. But then I guess I would have to be on social like that doesn't sound like it would be like you would work at all. Because there are other people who do have social media profiles who are also health coaches
Mm-hmm.
who will just beat you at that game because you're playing their game.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
you're playing the
Yeah.
next steps game and they're just like living in their level, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there's an element here that like that I think that like the stage and where you're at right now is like it's like let's spend some time figuring out like what is that thing that would like really make you say like great it's worth me like losing an hour of sleep. I might be a little bit more sluggish all day, but like I know I'm moving this forward, you know. um I'm hearing for you that like there's an element of entrepreneurship where how do I say it, it's like you want what you really want is the flexibility of your working hours, the flexibility to work from home, like
Mm-hmm.
like you want that flexibility. If I'm hearing you more
With
than
the
like
nature of health coaching and not the nature of, oh, if my Excel crashes and my whole day is screwed. Like
yeah,
I just can't do the Excel like all day, every day and staring at numbers.
yep,
But I can do flexibility, work from home, can be in my pajamas, and not have to be like that client facing, which is how coaching would feel. Yeah. So I don't know what that is. And I know that it won't be like health coaching won't be my first priority like ever. Well, I don't think so, at least not right now. And that's why I'm like, if like, so right now I spend like Saturdays and Sunday mornings, like spiritual practice, and then, or around that, different subgroups and things. And then second, like my yoga practice, and then like my healthy eating practice, or just eating healthy and like meal prep and all that goes around with it. And then my relationship. And then it's like the bottom is work. I know the health coaching won't surpass any of those. It'll only surpass work. Well, and I can't like just not go to work because I'll lose my job.
yeah,
So it's like the only thing. And that's why it's like I acknowledge that it's not ever going to be, I'm going to want to gravitate towards that instead of, going to church or like, just like cooking and buying, takeout to do it. Like, and I see that that's what I had to do exams, and I hated it. So I'm like, the only place it could bleed into, I see, is work right now. And if I got my sleeping under control again, because I used to sleep like 9 or 10 and I was okay, like, but now it's just gotten worse and worse. But I only see it coming out of the work, because anything else I would want more than health coaching, and I know I do. So that's the hard thing. Yeah.
Okay. So let's call that out, right? You have your priorities in there, and like, let's call that out there, right? And the elements here for me, as we wrap up this conversation here, is to look at it, and I would get really clear on like what it is that you're actually looking for your life and like in the work there. Like if like, because there are elements in here where, and our connection sometimes like comes out. So it's like, sometimes I hear like, you're like, yeah, I can see myself being a life coach, but then you're like, I don't want to actually do the client facing stuff. So I don't want to be a coach. And there's like, there's this element in here where like, I know you to be tenacious. Like you did whatever it took to pass exam C, you know, like that's when I met you. Like you were just like really fully in that. So that's what's coming up for me, where I'm like, I'm not hearing that tenacity. You know, like there are so many things. Like when I met you, you're like, look, I've been retaking this exam and I'm passing it, and I'm doing this and I'm writing my notes on it and I'm doing these things. Like there was like boom, 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 and there was just there was a tenacity that was there. And right now, what I'm hearing is like, I'm hearing a lack of tenacity, and instead it's like filled with like with a whole lot of uncertainty and a lot of like almost like wishes, like, yeah, I could do this, but I'm not necessarily sure. And it's very different than like, I'm like, are you taking any exams right now? You're like, not really, not now. I'm like, where did the exam time go then? Like there was a time when you were studying, that was all in there, right? So
yeah.
So that's right now. It feels like we haven't found alignment enough yet, you know. And I don't think it needs to take over any of the other things that you're doing, but it doesn't feel like we found alignment enough with it, right? Does any of that resonate there?
Yeah, because like I just think back and like the exams took like every amount of help I feel like I had in my life. It took every amount of like, you know, I didn't work out for years. Just like I can't go a day without working out, like doing yoga like twice right now, like, or at least like, and it includes meditation and things too. But you know, yeah, it was like I wouldn't go to church, and I just like I wouldn't sleep. It was just like, now I don't know, it almost maybe made it worse, maybe made me better, but it's like I will never go back to that spot is how I feel now. I'm like, I will never go back to that spot. And even if I wanted health coaching way more than wanted a stupid exam pass, I know health coaching is even worth it. Like, why did I think a stupid exam pass was worth it? If it's sacrificing my health is what I mean, then it's not worth it. And I think that's like, I just was willing to sacrifice things that I'm just like, I am not right now, like at all. Like the only thing I'll sacrifice is my like day job. Yeah, and I don't know if that's fair or bad.
That right there, what you just said, that's your magic sauce. That is a thing where like, when you're thinking about like, who do I work with? Who can help? Like, I just realized in this moment that you're not about health coaching from like I'm here to help you be healthy. Like what you just said there is so specific. Like, you know, specifically what it's like to give up your health for everything else, whether it's your job, whether it's this, perhaps it happened in your relationships, like you stop going to church. I know that that's really important to you. Like, you know what it's like. And like, when I'm hearing you say health from there and you bring up like church and everything, I know it's beyond just physical health. You know, it's not just the number of hours you sleep in. It's like the health of your relationships, the health of your relationship with your spirituality, the health amongst yourself there. It's this holistic thing here that's taking place. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, totally. And my mental health suffers so much, and I feel like I'm still like, what's the opposite of reaping the benefits? I'm still paying the price. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And so like, if you were out in the world telling people about that and talking about like, I'm like, about the price that you've paid, and just making it known that like, right now, I don't want anyone else to have to pay that price. So if you're right now feeling in a place where your health is suffering, your relationships are suffering, and all this stuff here, and if you can get to the point where you can like like share that journey there, I think you're going to find there's a lot of people out there who've created a lot of success, that have a lot of money, that have a lot of all the things, and it looks like they've done all the trappings. You know, they might, like, you probably even know them. They might have all the letters after their name, and
Yeah.
it come with a whole bunch of sacrifice. And now, even though they've gotten the letters and everything, they're still paying the price.
Yeah.
Working with those people in some way, shape, or form. And I don't know what it looks like. Like, this is where things get really fun, where it's like, is it, when I think health coach, I think someone's going to do nutrition for me and someone's going to do like fitness in the gym. But it feels like,
Yeah.
where you can play is far more holistic. It isn't, am I a health coach or a yoga coach or a life coach? Holly, when I hear you talk about this, it's all of those. It's like if you didn't do all three of them simultaneously, you wouldn't really be serving someone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It's like I started off like, or my mom kept saying, you should be a life coach. And I just like thought it was the most ridiculous thing. And then I couldn't find like a good life coach and kind of like where to go there for school. And I'm like, well, I'm really into health, and that seems like more niche. So, but yeah, I agree. Like a life coach, like holistic, like I really like envision myself like going into people's houses and like just working with them on like making sure their house is serving them, and making sure like just looking at the way everything is set up, and it's like why this, why that, like, and everything from the kitchen to like removing the bad food and going grocery shopping with them, to taking them to just trying to make it, to try to understand their life and find like holes in it that I can like, oh yeah, I've been there, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. To me, that's very different than what you had kind of brought up at the onset, right? Because it, like, that doesn't sound like what I would think of as a health coach. This is incredibly neat. This is incredibly specific. Of course, I would spend great money. You're going to come to my house. This is not something I'm paying online. I'm not just going to meet you, and you're going to come to my house. You're going to go through my house. You're going to like find out where the holes are in my. That's people don't get anyone to pay attention to them in this kind of way. No one gets like that is incredibly rare and incredibly valuable.
Yeah, like the sound of, or the thought of like sitting across the table looking at someone, like a therapy session, instead of talking about emotional health, talking about like nutritional health, does not sound exciting. But going, like, driving to their house, if it's around the Twin Cities, and it's like, I wouldn't mind if it was somewhere close by. Okay, I'm just gonna, drive there, spend for all morning with them, and kind of like figure out like whatever it is, like, we're gonna find the nearest, like, we're gonna find a walking loop and together, and we're gonna do that, and just kind of be really hands-on, and not just trying to talk and send them home with like a list of to do. So maybe do that after I left the house, but not just like across the table at a, sterilized clinic type of session, and I don't know if I feel like I get way more excited about the thought of going into their home and like, yeah, really trying to be more hands-on.
Yeah. I can hear it in the tone of your voice. Like, this is like, I feel like you finally come alive in this thing. I feel like you finally woke up in our conversation here, I'm like, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, she actually wants this. Like,
yeah,
like that, and that the thing becomes here, and to not settle for less. You may not have, like, to not settle for less, and to know that like what you're offering there, right? Not too many people are going to say yes. Not too many people are going to have that option open for them. But for those that they do, this is so unique, so like special, so cared for them. Everyone else, like, they look to feel good about themselves by going on the social media for like, the dopamine fixes that like people are trying to go to. And you're able to give them something completely different. Attention that's catered and specialized to them. You're in their house. I'm going to come to your house. I'm going to be there with you, and the things that are coming to mind are like, what if you didn't have to, like, my thing is that you're not allowed, in my mind, you're not allowed. It would be a disservice to you and to anything that you can build if you did put the work in any of those aspects above any of the other things you had. Your Saturday morning, you're like your yoga practice, you're going to church, your relationship, because what you're offering to people is an opportunity to actually no longer have to do that, to keep work where it should be at the very bottom of the list.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like
Yeah.
you living your life is the solution. I can see you going over to someone's house there and saying, okay, great. Today, we're going to do a yoga practice, and it's your yoga practice, and you're bringing them in to doing it with them. So they get that chance there. You know, if you ever decided to do social media or any of that stuff there, I could see you just grabbing the camera and recording yourself as you're doing your yoga practice. And that's it. Doing a Facebook Live or a live stream of you doing something where you're like, I'm not leaving my house. I don't care if you do this or not, but I am doing it. And if you'd like to join me, like, here goes an hour that I'm spending in meditation. I don't even need to teach you anything. It's just an hour that we're spending time together. I'm making these things up as we go along, but the idea here is like, are there opportunities to document what's going on in your life as opposed to having to create something different for it? Are there opportunities to do what you like, that what you love doing with other people, and just say like, well, like this is how I'm choosing to do it. If you want to work with me, like you're going to come along with me on my routine. In fact, here it is. I meet in this place, and this place, and this place, and I'm doing my routine. I have 5 other people that can join me for my morning routine today. You know, I have 5 other people that can join me in the practice. Can you say that again?
Right, like going on a walk and stuff. I go on a walk alone, and like even just walking, and that could be the therapy, more like talking, like talk therapy on a walk with them. And we're walking around their house. They can get motivated and get in the routine of going around their like nearest pond or whatever. In Minnesota, it's 10,000 lakes, so there's a pond at every block. So go around their pond and do it with them for the first 40 days to set a habit. And then, you know, move on to the next person, and then bring that same person, let's say have the habit of a walk, bring them to go weightlifting with me. It's like, I'm going to do this, and you're going to watch it. We're going to do the same amount of reps. If you have to weight down, that's fine, but I'm going to do this, you know, like that. I just watch so many people on YouTube document their lives, and I just wouldn't do it. One of my values, I don't want to do that. And 2, right now at least, and like, you know, sharing it on social media, I don't know, wouldn't have any following anyway, but I just am not interested, which I know limits me a lot. But
let's see, that's an assumption that you said that, you know. Again, I'm gonna play with that one there, like, because it doesn't sound to me like it could be the thing that differentiates you. The only way that people, there's a book that's come to mind here that I feel like I would love to recommend. It's a thing that got me started, which is called The Prosperous Coach by Steve Chandler and Rich Litvin. I strongly recommend reading that there, because it talks about how do you create a service-based business that's in alignment with you. How do you create a relationship-based service-based business that's in alignment with you?
Yeah, right.
And one of the major things that they say is like, they help you do it in a way without having to be on social media, building an email list, getting your blog posts, or like, stop doing that stuff and go do the work with people. You're experiencing it right now. You know, like I want to be coaching people who challenge me, and people who I would want to be in coaching relationships with. And so I'm coaching you in this moment. And that's it. You know, like I'm just going to coach, you know, and you can call it whatever you want. It like, because when I'm hearing you talk, it's like health coach is its own thing. Yoga instructor is its own thing. Life coaching is its own thing. But you're the only one that will bring health coaching life. Like there's like interior design that's in there as well. Like there's like all of that, like the way that you deliver what you do, that's its own niche.
Yeah.
That's its own niche. And if someone wants it, and you can tell them like I say like at the beginning of this, I'm like, I don't play the next step game. There are a lot of people who play the next steps. If you want to do that, I can introduce you to them. I can make a connection. That's fine. But I'm talking next level, right? Hey, I'm not a fitness coach. If you want someone that's gonna like be on you to go to the gym, that's not me. I'm also not just a life coach. Like I'm not here to just like sit across the table and talk to you about X, Y, and Z. Like my thing is that I'm gonna get we're going to integrate a bit in your life. I'm going to come to your home, see what's working for you, see what's not, like help fill in some of the gaps that you have there. What do we need to change? And I'm going to physically be there with you. And then you're going to get a chance to come and join me on my practice, because I've learned what I need to do in order to prioritize my self-care first and foremost. Right. And so
Yeah.
I want to work with you. What I do is I go on a walk. I love going on walks on here. Here goes 3 ways. Here's my plan for the week. You can choose 3 of the things to come and join me with. You know, you can join me for my workout. You can join me for my yoga practice, or you can join me for my walk. Right. And here goes the thing. If this doesn't work for you, that's totally fine. My business is built on invitation and referral only. So who do you know who feels like they're still paying the price in their health, mentally, physically, spiritually, for making sacrifices that they thought they had to make for their work? Who do you know that right now feels like they have no time, or feels like they have no energy for the things that really matters to them, and need some space to take care of themselves? Let me know who that person is for you. And they have to be in the Twin Cities. They have to be in this location. I don't work with people virtually. They have to be here.
Yeah.
You know, and start with that. How does that feel to you? How would that feel if that was the way you were?
I think that would be awesome. Yeah, I think I would totally that's would be life goals, to work my way up to, for me, it's getting paid to actually to move my body. That's exactly what I feel like. Maybe I would say that's anyone's dream, but that's my dream.
It's not my dream. I'll tell you that. So it is really cool that it is your dream.
Yeah.
My dream is to get paid to talk. I'm like, you're just telling me, not even to say to talk, to get paid to be me. That's my dream. It's like I can crack a joke with you and you're like, wow, Nemo, that was exactly what I needed, you know? Or be like, you know, I've had coaching sessions where in the middle of it, we're like, let's just take a Kit Kat break. And we literally got up, and just dance in front of each other for 5 minutes. And then afterwards we went and we had this deep conversation.
Wow.
It's like that's why I say I'm bringing all of me to the table, because just the sitting across here, that wouldn't be enough.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Get paid to play. Yeah. That's get paid to play every day. What? Yeah. So as we wrap up here, the thing I'm going to ask of you, and in fact, the thing I'm going to invite you to, is to not settle for anything less than that. The moment that you try and play the health coach game, the yoga instructor game, the life coach game, that's the moment that you become a commodity from the grand scheme of things. Where they're oh, why should I go with you versus this? And then you're like, well, my routines are the best, or this. That's not what you do. You're you're the difference between a personal masseuse and someone that gives massages at a local place. When I hear what you're talking about, it's oh wow. You're going to come in, you're going to look in my fridge, you're going to tell me what's in there. That kind of stuff, that kind of bespoke stuff, that's thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars for someone to be like that, to work with you for a period of time. That's not small change. And that level of intensity of being there for someone, you don't have the bandwidth for more than a few clients to be able to really offer that to.
Right. I don't know how to get... I mean, I've said to word of mouth, and maybe if I said, yeah, I'll come into your home, but I don't know how else to just get the first client. You know what I mean? That's or just get where to market.
I do hear what you're saying. And it feels to me that it still hasn't sunk in yet, because those are your older questions, right? I think your first next step is to read The Prosperous Coach. I truly do, because a lot of the questions that you have are going to be answered in that. And that's again, I'm also looking to see, are you willing to create the time? If you really want to know the answers to those questions, you're going to find it in that book. If you really want to know, how do I build a business where I can make hundreds of thousands of dollars because I have a few high paying, high fee clients that work with me on whatever I consider to be exciting. Whether it's going on adventure trips together, whether it's I'm coming into your house, whether it's whatever it is, whatever your magic is.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, there's no, I can't move forward with you until I know you're willing to do that kind of work. And the answers that you're looking for are there. And then once you have those answers, like it's the framework, it's the principles there. Once you have that, then we can start saying, okay, what's your specific way of implementing these things? You know?
Yeah.
But it's like right now, I don't think that you're sold that it can even be done.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Not at all.
Yeah.
Like
I
it's
get that.
exciting to me, but finding people who will pay me for it is like a whole other disbelief.
Yeah. Yep. I totally hear you. And the most straightforward thing I can do is say, read The Prosperous Coach, and see if you will create time for that. And I'm being very upfront and very explicit to you, as in like, it has the answers you want. You're going to have to find your own unique approach to it. It's not going to be one of those like 7-step systems that says, first go out to your grocery store, then do this. It's like, but you'll hear and see examples of how people have created clients while while like in the airport. You'll see like how people have created clients. It's like, I know someone who, this is going to be wild. He was doing like a couple of days of like just doing some random things, and he wrote a note and he put it into a bottle and he threw the bottle into the sea. It's just like, hey, if you ever like need some services, whatever it is, I forget what he said, but it was like a motivational quote on one side and like his contact info on the other. 8 months later, he gets a message from someone and he said, hey, I was at the beach and your bottle came to shore. And I picked it up and I opened it and I read the message and it was just exactly what I needed to hear. So I wanted to reach out to you, and you said like, you know, we can, it might lead to something. So like they started having conversations, and that person became his client. I mean, that's like your clients are all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think the question becomes, how are you showing up? And my invitation to you is like to read the book. And then to also just kind of allow yourself to like kind of think, what if I didn't need to change anything about what I was doing? I didn't need to create any more time. And instead I just brought those people, like I was able to make a whole lot of money just because I'm doing my yoga practice. I don't have to come up with a new yoga practice. I don't need to I don't even need to go anywhere. It's like, I'm just doing my thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I could totally see at some point you having a virtual only thing where they have to meet you in person, like you meet them normally, but you're like, I'm not documenting this for the world, but it's our hour today. Our hour is doing this. I'm in my own home. I'm in my pajamas. Maybe I'm in my sweats, you know, I'm wearing my Lululemon or whatever it is, you know, and I'm just doing it, and you're going to do it too.
Mm-hmm.
How does that sound? Does that sound like fun to you? Does that feel like anything you would want?
That sounds like it'd be awesome. Like I just today when I was trying to clean my home, I looked up YouTube videos to watch, and there's like Clean With Me, and this woman that have like tons of followers. And again, I don't want one of those tons of followers and document it for anyone to see and pick apart. But it's just to have someone there with you who's cleaning your house and then folding laundry, and it's like I want to be that for people too.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. Like you may not need to go on the whole followers and tons of people doing it, but the fact that you enjoy watching other people do that, I would never watch Clean With Me. That would never, ever be like the thing where you're like, ooh, she's folding her laundry right now. That's like, you know, you're like, I would, you know, like there's something about it that it's exciting to you. Like, great, you know, like live your life. And then again, this is the thing, like for you, it feels like limitation is actually a huge piece for you. You know what? This one person has thousands and of followers watching her fold her clothes. Me, only 5 people are allowed in at a time. And if you want to be one of those 5 people, It costs $10,000 to work with me for 6 months. You want to be one of those 5 people? It's $80,000 to work with me for a year. You know, like it's a completely different game. Like limitation is part of what makes you special. The fact that, and it's not limited, it's just like the fact that like you want it close. Then great.
Yeah.
How does that feel for you?
It feels exciting, and it makes me want to like, just write all this down afterwards and just think about, read that book and figure out like exactly how I'm going to do it, and just like continue to plant the seed in my mind, and maybe write down topics, so if I had like, not a pamphlet, but like, like when people in the gas station, there's people's business cards, but like hands-on life coaching. I don't know how to describe it, but like try to come up with an elevator speech of the certain things. Like I'll go to any workout with you just to make sure you go to workout.
Can I slow you down a little bit? Right. I'm hearing you say, I want to plan out how exactly I'm going to do it. I'll tell you right now, Holly, you have no clue. You've never done it. Like, so you sitting here trying to plan it out, it's not going to work. Right. There are things you can do like, and I say that with a smile on my face, just because I'm like, if you like, your normal path is to go back and like plan it all out and then go from there. I'm like, this is something that you're creating, and no one else has done this before. Even the person you're watching on Clean With Me, she's chosen to go and get thousands of people. So like her strategies are completely different than you, I honestly, and also when I hear you talk about this stuff, it's like, I don't feel like you want any of like the extra nonsense. I love how you said the hands-on health coaching or hands-on whatever, life coaching, whatever it is, like that hands-on part like really comes out there. But I don't think you need an elevator speech. Share your story. Share your story. Just get curious about them and see, like, do you ever feel like you really made like you made like the ultimate sacrifice when it came to your health, and you put like your work or your job or anything else on top of it? Yeah. How did you feel? Like, I don't know about you, but like I did it for years. My relationships suffered, my spirituality suffered, like my health suffered, not just my physical health, but my mental health. And like, I'm not about that anymore. So what I do is I go off and I do a yoga practice every morning. Or you might just give them some space and be like, yeah, like I hear you. Like I gave it all up when I started having children. I gave it all up when X, Y, and Z, and I feel like I'm still paying the price, like, yeah, I get that. Like for me, what I've been doing is really reclaiming that back, and now I'm making investments in myself. I'm not paying any costs. I'm making an investment in myself. And I spend each morning doing a routine, or in this afternoon, even I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to spend an hour there. You know what? What I do nowadays is that like, I like to invite people to come and do the routine with me or to be in the gym with me. So would you want to just like, I'm a pretty hands-on kind of person, I don't offer this to everyone because my time is really limited and I actually really like my private space. But like, if you're interested, I can let you know what my calendar looks like the next week of where I'm going and like what kind of practices I'm doing and all that stuff. And you can come and join me for one or two of them. And like, I mean, it's what I do with my clients. My clients just join me there. And so like, if you want, you can come and get an experience of it. And, there's no commitment, no anything. I'm doing it regardless, but if you're interested, why don't you come and join me? And it was like think about, how does that seem to you? Like if it was more of that approach, then like I have to get a business card, I have to have my elevator pitch, I have to figure out how I'm going to do this thing, I have to do that. Like, tell me your reflection on that.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. That sounds exactly like how I'd want to convey it, and just, being authentic like that. And yeah.
So I want to kind of point these things out as we go on, just to like the reason I'm recommending the Prosperous Coach for you, and it's because like it's from that helped me gain the mindset that I could say something so natural. So from a place of what's authentic to
Mm-hmm.
me based on what I feel is authentic to you.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Yeah.
few people
Yeah.
play what you're playing, and it's rare. And it's like, ah, so you're saying all I got to do is just find a time sometime next week. I've been looking to go back to the gym, and I like you. Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to do
Mm-hmm.
it anyway. So it's no pressure on me to like say yes or no. It's like, you're going. You're just
Mm-hmm.
inviting me to be in there. And I feel connected to you because you invited me.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can just do your thing. And then you can make up a number. And the thing is, no one else is doing what you're doing. So you can make up any number you want. You could say it's $1 a month to continue doing this with me. Or you can go, it's like, for this year, this is something I like. I really enjoy my privacy, but I do it only for a select group of people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's $20,000 to work with me for 4 months,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And then it's just like, it's so unique. It's whatever you want. That
Yeah.
assumption that you're going to be making less money as a health kit, like, it doesn't need to be true.
Yeah.
I can see that you're like, I can see your mind kind of playing with this right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end it here, right? And let you just be with that. Um, yeah, I'm going to take you off the hot seat, and I'm going to wrap up this conversation overall. Okay. Thank you so
Okay.
much for being on
Okay.
me.
Thank you so much, Nemo. I can't thank you enough.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm now going to talk to all of you. What if it could just be exactly like you want it to be? What assumptions are you currently making in your life, and how is that playing out for you in various ways? When we're playing a next level game, it's actually quite interesting because for most of the people that I work with, my outliers, pioneers, and mavericks, we've already accomplished some level of traditional success. We've passed all the exams. We have all the credentials. We're working at the right companies, all those things.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes that time where we say, for us, for me in particular, what my next level of success is looks very different than what everyone else is telling me it should be. Looks very different than what everyone else says is possible for me. If that's the case for you, I'm here to let you know that it's possible. I'm here to let you know that you can get what you want if you truly want it. I'm willing to play that game with you. And I love playing it in one-on-one or in a group setting here. And ultimately what I would say is, let's play. Let's play and let's see. So if you're ever interested in this here, I'm going to make an invitation to you. I'm similar to what this conversation here. I don't work with all that many people. And I want to keep being in service. I don't spend as much time responding to people's comments or anything like that. What I do is I'm serving people consistently. And it's so much fun for me. It's the only game I like to play. If you're interested in playing a game and you being a part of the focus here, I want you to send me either an email at Niiamah Ashong. Sorry, send an email to Niiamah@niiamahashong.com or go to niiamahashong.com/oasis. And I have this, we like to do this here with a group of people in a small group coaching session. So you can get reflections both from me and others and really play the game that you're meant to play. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the Oasis. I'm looking forward to playing a bigger game with you. Game on.
Sounds great.